Let's see what tuples are. Tuples are immutable, ordered and indexed data types. Tuples are similar to list except that tuples are immutable, which means you cannot change the value of one particular element inside the tuple, which will cause an error because it is immutable. The index numbers are same like a list. It starts from 0 from left to right and -1 is the index number from right side to left side. And tuple operations are again exactly the same like lists. You can concatenate two tuples. You can replicate a tuple with a number where you can give a tuple in one side and an integer in the other side, which will replicate, that is duplicate the number of elements and show you. And membership operator is used to find if an element exists inside a tuple or not. So check this tuple T1 equal to 12 comma 34 comma. The third element is 1 comma 2. Now 12 in T1 is true because here you have 12. 1 in T1 is false. Why? Because this is together one element, but 1 is not equal to 1 comma 2. Always while checking happens, it will compare a whole element together. So 1 equal to 1 comma 2 is not correct. So it does not find out this element and it returns false. Whereas when you give 1 in T1 of 2, then it becomes 1 in 1 comma 2. Now it becomes true. Okay. Then slicing. Slicing is exactly the same as we did in strings and lists. When you have a tuple called this T1 of 1 colon 4 or step value or negative value, negative index, everything works the same as in lists. Only thing, when you do slicing, it will never cause an error. Remember, see, you have a tuple like this. Now let me try to change a value of a tuple. Say T1 of 2 is equal to 200. This will cause an error. Why? Because tuples are immutable. Whereas if you have a list like this, you can always change the element of a list wherever or whatever you want. See, because lists are mutable. And how about operators, concatenation? When you have a tuple T1 and I assign another tuple called T2, this is called concatenation. T1 plus T2 will join, that is combine T1 along with T2. This is allowed, right? Then replication, T1 into 3 will create multiple copies, duplicate copies of T1. Okay, but the value of T1 will remain the same, but when it shows the output, it replicates and shows on the screen. If you want, you can assign it to another variable and save it. Okay, then how to create a tuple? You can directly assign T1 is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3, or you can assign say for example you have a list called L1. How to create a tuple? You can say T1 equal to tuple of L1, which will convert the sequence into a tuple. Tuple of L1. This will convert the list L1 as a tuple. Okay, tuple of, list of, string of. So this is used to do explicit type conversion, which means typecasting a list to a tuple. Then creating an empty tuple is as usual. This is how we do. This will create a tuple. But when you create a single element tuple, say for example, T is equal to 10. When you try to do this 10 will not be considered as a tuple. Why? Because it looks like a mathematical expression. It's a normal bracket and have a 10 inside. It is considered as an integer. So if you want to have a single element tuple, there is one condition where you have to give a comma next to it. Only then it becomes a tuple. See, type of T is tuple. Now I'll try to do the same without a comma. T equal to 10. Let me print type of T. It will show int. Okay, this is not possible. Okay, so when you want to create a single element tuple, you should add a comma to it. Okay. So slicing, membership, tuple operations like concatenation, replication, slicing, everything is similar to lists. Now there is one more term which you want to learn, something called tuple packing and unpacking. Packing is the same like say you have t, say you have two variables, a is 10, b is 20, c is 40. When you say t equal to a comma b comma c, this is called as packing. What do you mean by packing? Packing two or more variables into a tuple is called as packing. Two or more variables are packed as a tuple and assigned a name to it. It is called packing. Now what is unpacking? It is the vice versa. Say I have a tuple 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. There are 6 elements in a tuple. If you want to unpack, you have to have 6 variables in the left hand side which will take the values of t, and the individual elements will be assigned one by one to the variables in the left hand side. This is called unpacking a tuple. Only thing in unpacking, the number of variables and the number of values should be equal. Suppose you have t as 1, 56, 34. There are 3 variables. But here I give a, b equal to t. This will cause an error. Why? Too many values to unpack. Which means there are 3 values but 2 variables. You will not be able to unpack. Right? So this is called as unpacking. So as I said earlier, accessing a tuple elements individually, like trying to write an element, is not possible because it is immutable data type. But you can join and assign it. Say for example, you have a tuple called t 1, 56, 34. You don't have a method like append, t dot append, and give, say you want to add a value called 25, you cannot do it. But there is a roundabout method to do it. You can do it this way. T plus equal to, put the 25 as a tuple and add, because it's a single element tuple. See, now it's possible. So this is a roundabout way of adding an element to a tuple. So these are the initial concepts that you should know about tuple. In the next video, we'll learn about tuple methods and 1 or 2 programs using tuples. Thank you.